Hello everyone, and here we have a new story. Before we get to that, I want to ask you to subscribe, like, and be sure to write comments in order to participate in the development of the community. Write how to improve my community, current topics and the stories you are interested in, and much more. I read and listened to all the comments. People write me stories by mail from different countries. There are problems with translation. I apologize for this. I will work on it and try to fix these errors. I want to thank everyone for their support and the people who wrote to me by mail, broadcast news stories. New videos on my channel are published once every 2 days at 7 p.m. Don't forget to put a bell in order not to miss new videos. And now, let's go. Hello, I want to tell my story. I'm 35 years old. My wife is 5 years younger than me. We have been married for 14 years. Yes, my wife married me when she was 16. It just happened in my life. It may have influenced what happened. My wife did not see her youth and did not work up. She just didn't understand the beauty of life. The thing is, when I met her, I didn't know how old she really was. She was 16 at the time. She got pregnant and I joined the Army. As a result, her father comes to me directly at the department and tells me this news. I had no choice. Her father threatened me if I refused the wedding. In general, my service has come to an end. Love in our relationship appeared over time. The girl was very sweet and beautiful, but a little spoiled. In general, my wife gave birth. Then, we arranged a wedding. I've been working hard all these years. We bought a nice house. Time passed and we had a second child. We didn't live as badly as in an ordinary average family. I didn't drink or cheat on my wife. I've never offended her or my children. Many people say that when a girl's mood changes, coldness appears in the relationship. The girl becomes angry and refuses intimacy. So I want to say that this is complete nonsense. I have not noticed anything like this in my wife's behavior. If I hadn't accidentally returned home, I wouldn't have found out anything. Many men wear horns on their heads for years and live happily. One day I popped home to get my documents. I met a young guy on the doorstep of my house. He was already getting dressed. He was a guy about 18 years old. The only thing that calmed me was that there were no children in the house at that moment. I wanted to kill this guy right on the doorstep. But my wife threw on a robe and stood between us. "Don't touch him!" My wife screamed. "It's not his fault. Take what you came for and go to work. We will talk in the evening," she added. "I will dispel another myth that the first desire is to kill a cheating wife." Nothing like that. I felt such a shock, as if I had been electrocuted. My legs carried me out of the house by themselves. Soon a message came from my wife. "How are you doing? Don't do anything stupid." Come on. I wanted to go home only to kick my wife out of the apartment, but I didn't know how to explain it to my children. I came home and didn't want to stay in the car overnight. It was quite cold outside. My parents lived in another state. When I entered the house, I experienced another shock. Dinner was prepared in the kitchen. The eldest son is doing his homework. The youngest son watches cartoons on TV. I'm quoting our conversation. "Come on, I'm waiting. Start talking. What do you want to hear? How are we going to live on now?" My wife calmly replies to me, "Do you have a bad life?" I feed, wash, look after the children, and there are no problems with sex either. What else do you need? If you want to get a divorce, then I won't bother you. Let's get divorced. But I just want to remind you, my loving husband, that this is my home too. I'm not going to leave my house. If you have somewhere to go, then you can leave. I'll help you pack your things myself," my wife said. I was shocked by what I heard. I asked my wife one question. "Why are you doing this to me? What am I to blame for?" In response, I heard, "Oh, please don't be dramatic. No one is to blame for anything. That's life. I don't belong to you, and my body doesn't belong to you. The fact that I haven't loved you for a long time, you know perfectly well." I ask my wife, "Do you love this young guy?" She answers, "Aren't you laughing yourself? In addition to love, there are also family obligations. Years of years lived, household and children in the end. In general, think for yourself. If you decide to get yourself a mistress, I don't mind. Just do not pick up a venereal disease and do not spend the family budget on a mistress. If you want to leave, You have a full moral right. I honestly understand you. If you decide to stay, I will be only too glad and I will not deny you intimacy," my wife added. I stood there and didn't even know what to say. That's how our conversation went. And the most interesting thing is that I will destroy the third stereotype. No snot, humiliation, and requests for forgiveness, no kissing feet. Just nothing. I'm not talking about remorse. There wasn't even an apology. After all, this animal is right about something. That in addition to emotions, there are also obligations. Here I sit and think. I really wouldn't want my children to grow up in a single-parent family, and in the event of a divorce, she is unlikely to marry another. I really have nowhere to go. In the rural area where my parents live, there is no work at all. Only pensioners live there. The division of property also does not make sense. I'm unlikely to earn money for a new house. As a result, I gave my wife an ultimatum. I will stay in the family and forgive her, but for the first and last time. If she promises me never to cheat on me again, my wife swore that she would not bring anyone else to our house. As for fidelity, the wife said that until the children become adults, she is not going to destroy the family. But she can't promise that she won't have sex with other guys. I was shocked. I sit down again and think, what should I do? I don't want to live with horns on my head. I understand that it is necessary to file for divorce and somehow establish my new life, but how to do it beautifully and correctly? I decided that I would take revenge on my wife. My wife's lover will also have a hard time, but revenge should be beautiful and on a cold head, in order not to make mistakes on a hot head. As a result, I turned to a family lawyer. The lawyer explained to me how to get out of this situation with minimal losses. I'm already working on it. I plan to file for divorce in 3 months. I have to change jobs and pay alimony. I told my wife that I was staying in the family and that everything would be fine with us. Let it be like a bolt from the blue for her. As for my wife's lover, maybe I won't do it very nicely, but it's very fair to let him know how to have sex with other people's wives. I met him at night and gave him a good lesson. He didn't even realize it was me. In a short time we separated. The division of property occurred 50-50. And at the moment, I took out an apartment on credit. I found a new girl and I'm living with her. I don't forget about my children. By the way, after the divorce, my wife tried to return our relationship because her lover left for another girl. I've made a huge conclusion and now I am wary of the female sex. People learn from their mistakes, but it is better not to make mistakes at all. Therefore, I hope my story will be useful for you. I think we can end here. If you liked it, give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Now let's move on to the opinion of the author of the channel. Opinion of the author of the channel. Before you say a word, I will traditionally wish happiness and love to our hero. I want it to concern every person in our world. What can I say about this story? Yes, I was shocked by how heartless his wife was. It is very difficult to leave the family, especially when you already have children. Our hero has very good endurance. If I met a young guy on my doorstep, who my wife had sex with, I would take off his pants and spank him with a belt. Then I took my wife by the ass and whipped her the same way as in childhood. Well, take my word for it. No girl lived happily after cheating. This has already been proven by time. Maybe it's karma. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want. But every person after committing treason will not be able to be happy and find a good relationship. Such people cannot build a family. Family is the most important thing we have in this life. And what do you think? Friends, write your comment. If you have watched to the end, I want to say thank you very much. I love you all. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey of love, betrayal, and redemption. I appreciate your support and encourage you to subscribe, like, and share this story. Your participation and feedback are invaluable for shaping our content and promoting mutual understanding and community growth. Until we meet again.